Hello there, this is DJ Waldo of Waldow Social, and I wanted to share something with you that happened just this morning. I was talking with my father about an email that he got from GoDaddy, and he said that in the email they were asking him to renew his subscription for the domain that he just purchased, drwaldow.com, for $75 a year. And my first reaction was, well, that just can't be. I mean, that seems ridiculous that you'd have to pay that much just to register a domain per year. And so I had him forward me the email, and as sort of is indicated, I guess, by this screen that you're looking at right now, I wanted to see if the email was actually spam. What you're looking at now, this is a blog post that I wrote back in February of 2012, and I did a similar screencast that broke down whether or not this a particular email looks like spam. I also followed that up by another post in June of last year that talked about how I almost got duped by a spammer. So I'm somebody who receives a lot of emails, and I actually almost got duped by this email from Bank of America. So I wanted to take a look at the email my father forwarded to me and just give you some examples of what a typical spam email looks like so you can identify it on your own. So if we look at this email, this is the one, again, my father forwarded to me, and the first biggest giveaway to me is the from name. So if you look at the from name here, there's two things that stand out. First, that it's from customer service. And this is why I always recommend people in your from name, put it as your company name. Don't put customer service or support or anything like that. Put who you are. You have some options. You can put an individual's name if you're an individual or have a recognizable name within your organization. You can put your company name. You can put your brand or whatever your product is, but make it something that's going to stand out. Customer service is just too generic. So that jumped out at me. And then the second thing that was really big was this. We've talked a lot about here about no reply email addresses, and they typically are not a good idea just from a marketing and human perspective. But look at the domain here, securetrans92175.com. To me, that screams this is spam. Now, there's some other tells in here too. The subject line probably could use some work, but then again, I've seen legitimate subject lines like this as well. But something to look at. And then the top here, a couple other things. They were able to scrape this information, it looks like, from somewhere online, so that makes it look more legitimate. They definitely talk about his domain name, and that's a legitimate domain, and this is the registration date. Now, what was interesting about this is if you look closely, the order date is May 25th and the registration date is May 25th. So that was a little bit of a flag for me. And then, you look at the rest of this here, failure to complete your search engine registration may result in cancellation of this order. And then it says in here, process payment for drwaldow.com. And first thing I said to my dad, of course, was, please tell me you did not click on that link. And he did not. But this is really important here. When you see something that is asking you to pay directly from the email, that's a bad sign. When you get stuff like this, I always recommend go directly to the source. So in this case, if it was from GoDaddy, I suggest that you go directly to godaddy.com and see if a similar type message appears on the website. So there are definitely some tells. It's not that easy to always tell whether or not an email is spam or not, but certainly something to look at. And as I've said before, I always recommend looking in your spam folder on occasion. I think it gives you an idea of what real spam messages look like, as well as those false positives, and gives you an idea of what to look for in an email that may be spam. So once again, my name is DJ Waldo of Waldow Social, and this was today's screencast.